What's up, YouTube? Zazubaar here. Guys, I can tell a lot about a movie from the first trailer or even just hearing about the movie. And especially with Marvel movies, for some reason, you can just tell so much damn things about them just from things you hear to things you see in trailers. And I'm here to talk about two particular examples today. And those two particular examples are Thor and Captain America. The only two Marvel movies, to my knowledge, that are coming out in 2011. Now, I'm going to talk about them specifically, mainly because they're both in continuity with each other. They're coming out in a similar time span, and they're both leading up to the Avengers. And that's going to be a major thing I'm going to talk about when we compare the two trailers. Thor's movie is coming out, and I think it's May. And Cap's movie is coming out in June, so they're only in a month of each other, so that's pretty short, and that's mainly the reason why I'm going to compare them. Now, Thor's first trailer came out in the summer, I believe. I think I would imagine in July. And Cap's trailer has only recently been released during the Super Bowl. Now, I could tell so much about these movies just from watching the trailers, and that's why I'm going to talk about them. So, first of all, let's talk about Thor. Now, both Thor and Captain America are being released by the company who gave us Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2. And, the majority of... actually, all of those movies, I shouldn't even just say the majority, all of those movies, in my opinion, were good. I don't think Punisher Warzone was a Marvel Studios movie, so that's why I'm saying they were all good. Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2. And you can argue all you want about the Hulk and Iron Man 2, but I thought they were both great, especially The Incredible Hulk. That's my favorite Marvel movie, in my opinion. Yeah, I like it better than Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. That's a damn good movie. So Thor and Captain America, they're both being made by Marvel Studios, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But first of all, Thor's trailer, what it looks like, what we can tell from it. Well, for one, you can tell a lot about the look and the direction of the movie just from the trailer. And the look is extremely impressive. The look of Asgard was really, really cool. It looked a really dark, really moody, really godlike, and just everything down from the way the characters looked to the way the characters talked and fought. It was very much in the spirit of Thor, the comics, and all the animated features. And Anthony Hopkins as Odin, that's just perfect. Now, the problems I have with the trailer are that I like the guy who plays Thor in terms of that he looks like Thor, but I don't know, he just seems off to me by the slightest bit. I think it's just the way he talks, and the character of Thor has always been a little bland in my opinion. He's always just been kind of a warrior who comes down from, basically heaven to wage war on evil. So he's very similar to a lot of other heroes like Superman or even Captain America himself. So, but I'm not, even though I'm not a big Thor fan, I am definitely going to see this movie. And my problem with the trailer, and probably why I think Captain America is going to be better than Thor, is the story, the characters, and just the whole direction of the movie. For one, there's way too much comedy in the trailer, and I think there's going to be way too much comedy in the movie. And that's a problem. And I know Marvel movies, especially the Iron Man films, are known to have a lot of comedy, but for one, they worked better in Iron Man, and even the comedy in the Hulk was a little off. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I think it might be in Thor, but you know what? I just think that it worked better in Iron Man because of the character and the story and just the actors that were being portrayed, and I don't think it worked well in the Hulk, and I don't think it's going to work that great in Thor. And you know what? I just don't think I don't even think that fits the character of Thor. Thor was never a wisecracking comedian. He was a warrior who was angry with his society's way of interacting with other, I guess, planets. So he was angry and he went down to Earth and basically saved the people there. Kind of like Superman, but I just don't think that has due for a lot of hilarious hijinks, And I just think that the movie should be a little bit darker. I know that's been tossed around a lot lately on a lot of people who talk about movies that are coming out. Especially a lot of us who are talking about the Godzilla movie and the new Spider-Man movie and, just all these other movies. Oh, we want them to be dark. Well, I don't mean incredibly dark. I'm not talking Tim Burton dark. I'm just talking gritty. Just more realistic, down-to-earth kind of, just kind of down-to-earth action and, not even just action, just kind of down-to-earth storytelling. And even if you have over-the-top characters and over-the-top scenarios, you can still have a realistic way of telling the story and realistic characters who feel realistic emotions. I can't believe I'm saying this about a god, a thunder god, and waging war against a trickster. But I think that it deserves a little bit to be taken seriously, and it doesn't seem like they're doing that in Thor. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied, by the way. It's late, and I wanted to get this out. So, yeah, that's Thor. That's my problems with it. The cast is impressive. Just as I said, Anthony Hopkins, Natalie Portman, and there are more. I just can't name them off the top of my head. But again, the special effects look great, especially Thor's hammer, his armor, just the look of Asgard, as I said, and even though apparently he's fighting robots. I don't know what the hell the deal with that is, but all the CG effects look fine. Now on to Captain America, which we've barely seen even 30 seconds of footage for it, but Captain America, the trailer was again released, as I said, on the Super Bowl, and I could actually tell a lot about the movie from the trailer, or even just so much to intrigue me to see the movie, or want to see or hear more about it. In my opinion, from what I could see, I think I'm going to like Captain America better than I'm going to like Thor. They both look good, but not great, just good, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to be as good as Iron Man or the Incredible Hulk, or even, Spider-Man or any of the other Marvel movies. I think they're just going to kind of be there to set up the Avengers. And I'm going to get to that after I talk about Captain America trailer. The Captain America trailer actually shows a little bit of quite a bit. We see Cap's suit, Cap's shield, what the main story is, and we get a lot of gist about the look of the movie. As I said, I saw that in Thor, but we get a lot of we get a gist of what the movie's going to look like and what it's going to perform like. So, for one, I want to talk about who's playing Captain America, because there has been a lot of talk about it, and that is Chris Evans playing Captain America. And we all know he played the Human Torch, another Marvel character. Now, you could argue that this is kind of stupid. I mean, why would you get an actor who's already played a Marvel character to play another Marvel character? Well, that's because he was kind of good for the role. I mean, sure, he needed to bulk up a little bit to play Cap, but, he does. I don't want to say he looks like Steve Rogers, because in my opinion, he really doesn't. But from what I can see, they made him look like Steve Rogers. And I think that he's not going to be as bland as a lot of people perceive Captain America, or as goofy. I just think that that they made a good effort to make it even a little darker, maybe a little. Again, the comedy might be in there because it is Chris Evans, and we all know that he's the Human Torch. He's a wisecracking whatever. So I think that that's going to be there, but I do think that it's not going to be quite as heavy or out of place as it's going to be in Thor. So, but I also think that Captain America is going to be darker than Thor, just from the look of the movie and the story. And Cap doesn't really have a nice childhood, from what we can read. He had a very troubled childhood. He's a sickly young man until he becomes Captain America and basically saves the world from Nazis. And just the story looks more interesting, the look looks more interesting, and I'm just more interested in the characters and what's going to happen. This leads me to a crucial point I want to discuss, that a lot of fans have been talking about, I know a lot of critics have said, and that is the whole setting up the Avengers thing, because the title of the Captain America movie is Captain America, the First Avenger. So, alright, here I go. Iron Man established that these movies were going to be in continuity to become the Avengers. Fine. We're getting a Iron Man. We had 2 Iron Man movies. We had a new Hulk. We're getting a Thor and a Captain America, and from what I understand, an Ant-Man/Giant Man movie, which I think is ridiculously lame, but he is part of the Avengers, so I guess that'll go hand in hand. So, here's my opinion on it. Iron Man was great. It's in my opinion, one of the best superhero movies out there. The Incredible Hulk was better, in my opinion. The Iron Man 2 was not quite as good as Iron Man or the Hulk, but it was very good. But it had more to do with setting up the Avengers. Like, there was a cameo of Captain America's shield, Nick Fury played a bigger role, Black Widow, and Thor's hammer. That leads me to, again, so Thor doesn't look like it's going to have as much reference to the Avengers as Captain America is, but it is going to have a large one because as I mentioned earlier, the Shield officer who was in Iron Man and Iron Man 2 is in Thor. He's in the trailer, so that's one thing. But aside from that, not much. I mean, there might be a cameo by maybe Tony Stark or even Bruce Banner, but I doubt it from what we can see. I mean, we do know that Thor has had a lot of fights with the Incredible Hulk, so I mean that's definitely possible. Excuse me. But from what we can see, looks like it's going to have a lot more to do with the independent storyline, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. And I don't think that the Hulk or Iron Man 2 was bogged down by setting up the Avengers. I think it kind of contributed to the story a little bit. Maybe a little bit more so in Captain America and in Iron Man 2, but I must admit, it did kind of drag Iron Man 2 down a little bit, but again, it did have a little bit to do with the story. Then again, Tony's disease was just kind of there, so maybe it was just a reason to have Nick Fury make a cameo. But again, fine. The Hulk, it was only, I think it was, 2 scenes maybe, where they set up the Avengers. And Iron Man 1, it was only after the credits. Thor doesn't look like it's going to have much of it. Captain America, the whole movie is setting up the Avengers. Just the whole backstory of Captain America leads to the creation of the Avengers. So, you know what? I think that it can be done well and it can be done poorly. And it just depends on how well it fits into the story. If it doesn't fit in, only make cameos. That's fine. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, just focus on one superhero at a time." You don't have to do that. You can have more than one superhero in a movie and still have a good focus on the main hero, as long as he still gets the most development and the most characterization. That's the way to go, and that's when doing it good. When you do it poorly, it's just a ton of crappy cameos and lame jokes about it, where it's not taken seriously enough to be effective, which in my opinion Iron Man 2 had a problem with. And I just think that if it can be either done great or it can be done poorly, and it looks like Captain America may do it well. His whole entire story is leading up to the Avengers, so that's really it. I mean, I just wanted to kind of get it out there since I have a lot of opinions about this whole Avengers thing. And I think that both Thor and Captain America look good, and even the Avengers looks... I can't believe they already have a trailer out for the Avengers. It's ridiculous. I mean, the movies that are setting it up haven't even come out yet. So, and you know what's even weirder? The Avengers trailer came out before Captain America's trailer, so it's like, Marvel, slow down. But, again, I think that this will all pay off in the end, but I think there's one major thing that every movie fan who's waiting for these movies to come out is saying. If the Avengers sucks, the past 4 years of setting it up is for nothing. I mean, it started with Iron Man in 2008, and then if the Avengers sucks, it's like, screw that. So, that's really it. One other thing I want to say, though, Captain America 2 already? I mean, one small TV spot, and they're already greenlighting Captain America 2? That's just stupid. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Everyone just keep watching the superheroes, I guess. So, Thor is coming out in May, I believe, and Captain America will be released in June. So, check out those movies. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of them. That's all I have to say. Zazubaar out.